Hello, good evening. It's News 360 coming to you live from the News Hub here at Desawe Kanda. I am Portia Gabo.
Good evening to you. I am Noble Crosby and these are the headlines of the bulletin tonight.
News 360 headlines is brought to you by
EcoBank,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal.
In the bulletin, government absorbs 2 cedi diesel costs to ease fuel pressure. But the Ghana Private Road Transport Union says reduction may not prevent possible fare increase.
And also coming up tonight's Ghana Tertiary Education Commission clarifies that tertiary entrance exams are allowed after WASSCE.
Tonight, online self-diagnosis among the youth is on the rise as medical practitioners warn it should not replace professional health diagnosis.
Later in business news, mixed reactions greet government 2 cedi diesel subsidy as many question whether it's enough to cushion consumers against fresh palm hikes.
Elsewhere in the world, detained Myanmar leader Aung San Suu Kyi meets Red Cross representative amid health concerns over Nobel laureate's well-being. Welcome to the program. We're live also on all our social media platforms at TV3 Ghana. We'd love to hear from you as we bring you details of these stories, plus the latest in sports and entertainment.
We begin from the eastern region where 2 people have died while 7 others have sustained various degrees of injuries following a head-on collision on the Suhum-Kumasi highway. The survivors are currently receiving treatment at Hawa Government Hospital and are reported to be in stable condition. The Eastern Regional Fire Service Public Relations Officer confirmed that the crash, which occurred on Monday morning at Birimso Bridge on the N6 highway, involved 5 vehicles and caused a major disruption to traffic flow. The severity of the crash has overwhelmed traffic management efforts, prompting the Eastern South Regional Police Command to activate emergency diversion routes. Accra-bound motorists are being diverted through Chebi via Insutem, while Kumasi-bound traffic is being rerouted through Apidra. The police service is investigating the cause of the crash. The Birimso Bridge stretch has recorded several road crashes in the past, with speeding by motorists often cited as a contributing factor.
We'll attempt to get you some more details on this very unfortunate development. But in the meantime, government has announced a 2 cedi per litre reduction in the price of diesel effective Tuesday, August 4, following public concern over the latest fuel price increases. Now, the intervention is expected to bring diesel prices down from nearly 19 cedis to about 17 cedis per litre at some pumps. But the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, they say the reduction may not be enough to prevent any possible increase in transport fares.
The announcement follows the implementation of the first petroleum pricing window for August, which took effect on Monday, August 3. Under the new prices, petrol rose to about 15 cedis, 57 pesos per litre at some fuel stations, while diesel climbed to nearly 19 cedis per litre. However, the government, in a statement issued by the Minister for Government Communications, Felix Kwakye Ofosu, has since announced a 2 cedi reduction in the price of diesel, effective Tuesday, August 4. Chief Executive Officer of the National Petroleum Authority, Godwin Eduji Tamaklo, spoke about the move.
If you compare the 2 products and then the pricing, in the view of government, the major impact product is diesel. And that is why the decision has been taken in respect of diesel.
Deputy Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, Samuel Amwa, says diesel at about 17 cedis per litre is still expensive and could provide grounds for transport operators to demand an upward adjustment in fares.
Supposing it was around 16 cities and government is taking 2 cities, then it means that it's coming down to around 14 cities. But this time around, it's almost 20 cities. So we appreciate what the government is doing. That will also help us, by maybe reducing the percentage that we want to use to increase our fares. But as for the fare increment, it's obvious that we have to do that.
The latest fuel price increases have largely been linked to instability in the Middle East, which has disrupted global petroleum markets and pushed up the cost of crude oil and refined petroleum products. The development has once again exposed Ghana's heavy dependence on imported refined petroleum products and its vulnerability to external market shocks. Energy sector stakeholders are therefore renewing calls for the country to strengthen its domestic refining capacity and expedite efforts to rehabilitate the Tema oil refinery. For now, concerns remain over whether the diesel price reduction will be enough to prevent an increase in transport fares and ease the broader pressure on the cost of living.
In more news tonight, the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, GTEC, has clarified that it is not banning entrance exams for tertiary institutions, but insists that such assessments can only be conducted after the release of the West African Senior School Certificate exam results. Director General of GTEC, Professor Ahmed Jinapor, says entrance exams and interviews can serve as secondary selection tools, but they must not replace the WASSCE results, which remain the primary and minimum requirements for admission into tertiary institutions.
The West African Senior School Certificate Examination WASSCE results are the primary and minimum requirement for admission into tertiary institutions. But for years now, some tertiary institutions, both public and private, have been conducting entrance examinations for prospective students even before the WASSCE results are released. Director General of the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, Professor Ahmed Jinapor, acknowledged that the Commission only became aware of the practice this year. Currently, some tertiary institutions charge 350 Ghana cedis as fees for entrance examinations, which Professor Ahmed Jinapor said is unfair.
If University of Ghana has capacity to admit, let's say, 200 nursing students, now you ask anybody who wants to enroll in the nursing program to write an entrance exam before the results are out. You can imagine the number of people who will be writing the entrance exam, because at the end of the day, everybody wants to do nursing. But that person do not even know the cutoff point that Eugene is going to use. Neither does the person know what grade he or she is going to get. So if I want to do nursing, and because I have to write the entrance exam, I go to write the entrance exam, and my results are in, and I don't qualify by even the primary, more or less, requirement, then what happens? I think I've been shortchanged.
He explained that the Commission has no objection to universities conducting additional screening for highly competitive programs such as medicine and nursing, where the numbers of qualified applicants far exceeds the available spaces. According to him, entrance examinations and interviews can serve as secondary selection tools, but they must not replace the WASSCE results. The Commission's communique, issued a week ago, according to Professor Jinapor, was intended to remind universities to comply with the approved admission requirements or face regulatory sanctions.
If an institution decides to run entrance exam before the release of the WAEC results, I'm very sorry to say that the accreditation of that program will be revoked. And once the accreditation of that program is revoked, what it means is that your students will not be able to source the free first year support from government. And that, of course, will also affect students who are going to do their national service. We don't want to get there. And I'm very, very confident that the institutions will work with GTEC as they've promised.
Despite GTEC's communique, the University of Ghana is still conducting entrance examinations, but Professor Jinapor said he has engaged with its management.
The excuse that they've given is one that JTech is going with. That being, the university had already started arrangements prior to our communique, and that moving forward, they are going to abide by the position of the commission, that being entrance exam must come after results are released. And the commission is going to be very strict on that.
The GTech Director General also raised concerns over the growing use of computer-based entrance examinations, arguing that they disadvantage students from rural and underserved communities who may not have reliable access to computers or the internet. Evelyn Tinkma, TV3 News, Accra.
Meanwhile, the University of Ghana has reacted to this development, and management of the University of Ghana says it has noted the concerns of GTech on the College of Health Sciences entrance exams scheduled for 3rd to 8th August 2026. And the university says it is clarifying the purpose of the exam. It says that the West African Senior School Certificate exams remains the fundamental requirement for admission into all undergraduate programs of the university, including programs in the College of Health Sciences. It goes further to say that the entrance exams is intended to complement WASSCE performance as part of a holistic selection process, and it is neither intended to replace WASSCE nor diminish the importance attached to applicants' WASSCE performance. However, due to the limited number of spaces available for those programs, the entrance examinations is used as the additional criterion for shortlisting students for interview. It says that it is mindful of concerns regarding access and equity and remains committed to ensuring that its admission processes are fair, transparent, and responsive to the circumstances of applicants.
Still in education, the release of the 2026 Basic Education Certificate Examination result has sparked mixed reactions, with many parents being disappointed over the award's performance, while the West African Examinations Council says it intensified measures against examination malpractice and that may have contributed to the outcome. Education policy analysts argue that the conversation should go beyond curbing cheating to reforming the examination system itself. Samuel Adams reports.
A total of 620,243 candidates from 20,789 schools sat for the BEC, with 3,601 absentees recorded. While the council says the examination was largely successful, hundreds of candidates have had their result cancelled or withheld over examination irregularities. Head of Public Affairs at WAEC, John Kapi, says investigations into the more than 2,700 candidates from 229 schools are still ongoing.
We have recorded some irregularities, some examination malpractices, but thankfully we haven't had any high numbers, in relation to last year's numbers.
WAEC maintains that enhanced security measures before, during and after the examination helped reduce incidents of malpractice.
So the 119 candidates whose results have been withheld, these are what we refer to as routine cases. We've seen them. We are still trying to investigate and find out exactly offenses that have been committed in order that we are able to, come out with what do I call the right, punishment. That is, if there's any need to punish them at all. For the 2,722, these are the ones that were detected in the course of marking. Now, so we are going to have to scrutinize them and then give the candidates a hearing before a decision can be taken.
Meanwhile, Education Director of Africa Education Watch, Kofi Asare, argues that malpractice continues to exist and must be taken seriously.
There's a number of candidates involved in cancellations, reducing from about 900 in 2025 to about 600, right? Yeah, in 2026. So that reflects, the downward trend, which suggests that examination malpractice may be on the low, so we are still high. And I want to get to a point where we are getting perhaps single digits candidates involved in cancellations.
For him, it is about time government pursues reforms that place greater emphasis on competency-based assessment while safeguarding the credibility of the system.
While it is important for a merit-based mechanism to dictate who goes to category A or category B, the stress occasioned by writing up to 9 or more than 9 subjects, BC, does not correspond with the remaining relevance of BC. So we have suggested at EduWatch that the government should consider just writing BC on just the core subjects.
Following the release of the result, attention now turns to the computerized school selection and placement system. The Ghana Education Service is expected to begin the placement process in the coming weeks, after which qualified candidates will be assigned to senior high schools across the country, marking the next stage of their academic journey. Samuel Yabo-Adams, TV3 News, Accra.
In more news tonight, the use of online apps and search engines to self-diagnose illnesses is surging, especially among the youth. Many say it gives them a sense of awareness about their health before seeking professional care. But medical practitioners warn that awareness is not the same as diagnosis.
It has become a growing trend, with individuals turning to the internet and artificial intelligence to interpret their symptoms. For some, it feels like a shortcut to accessing medical care. After browsing online, they head straight to the pharmacy for medication and only visit the hospital if the internet suggests a referral.
So searching online, and I go to the nearest pharmacy and then get some drugs. Before, if they ask me to go to the hospital, I go to the hospital for further treatment. It really helps in administering the drugs.
I have this app I use. I have their WhatsApp number. So the first thing I do is consult them. It's an AI something. So messages and everything else already been crafted. So after them, then I head to the pharmacy. But they are the first thing I consult before I head to the pharmacy.
I don't know the type of sickness. So I'll rather go to the hospital for the doctor to examine.
According to the symptoms I have, I search for what is wrong with me, and then I later go to the pharmacy to get drugs.
I'll search for the symptoms online. Then I'll see the signs. Then after that, go to the hospital.
Medical practitioner Dr. Matilda Emisa cautions that while the internet can be a useful source of health information, it must never replace professional medical diagnosis.
There are certain things that we do, even as health workers. I mean, taking a glance at you does not give us a diagnosis. Adult, you've had hypertension for a long time, and you have chest pain, and they sit in a house. False reassurance. Oh, yesterday I had a cough, so it could be related to that cough. And then you Google, and then it gives you certain information, even gives you remedies for cough. Meanwhile, you are the one having a heart attack. I think that the internet is a great source of information, but it shouldn't be, your way to go.
She stresses that self-diagnosis can be dangerous and urges the public to seek proper medical attention instead of relying solely on online searches.
If it's also something that is a life-threatening, illness that you have, and you take it lightly, the internet tells you, oh, go buy Procode, you'll be fine. You may end up in the hospital too late. So, this is a terrible thing to do. Only use the internet to get the information and then seek professional advice.
Dr. Emisa also called on pharmacists to act responsibly by refusing to dispense medication without a doctor's prescription or proper diagnosis. Beatrice Soa, TV3 News, Accra.
Away from health, let's take you to Parliament, where the second meeting of Parliament witnessed a number of minority walkouts and spirited arguments over government policies and controversial bills. Now, despite rescinding the passage of some bills and repassing them, the House failed to reconsider the anti-LGBTQ+ bill, which has faced criticism over some of its provisions. Parliamentary correspondent Christian Yali, he wraps up the key issues from the meeting, including the media budget review.
Parliament began the meeting on a busy note with crucial bills requiring swift attention. By the end of the sitting, the House had passed 12 pieces of legislation, including the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill, the Community Service Bill, the National Defense University Bill, the Tribunals Bill, the Ghana Cocoa Board Bill, and several other key bills. It was also expected that the House would consider the Constitution of Ghana Amendment Bill to remove the current limitations on dual citizens.
I have received the advisory opinion on the bill from the Council of State. And I told you, this council advised against the passage of the bill, which meant that they differed from the earlier advice of the Council of State of the 8th Parliament.
Minority Leader, Honorable Attorney General, please, both of you should resume your seats.
I'm your senior.
As expected, the reintroduction of the Tribunals Bill sparked heated exchanges. The minority opposed the bill, arguing that the new law fails to address the excesses of the PNDC era.
Today, you want to have a tribunal? A tribunal? Populism, Choboy justice. Choboy justice. Mr. Speaker, Choboy justice, where people will be sent and people will be thrown into jail.
The minority then walked out, allowing the majority, which had the numbers, to pass the bill.
The Tribunal Bill 2026 is now duly read for the 3rd time and passed.
The minority staged another walkout after a scheduled briefing by the Governor of the Bank of Ghana was held in private without media coverage.
In times past where the governor has been here, you have been in the chamber to cover live. Various stations have covered it live. What is it that they are afraid of that now they don't want you to cover?
You all know that apart from the ministers, all the other independent constitutional bodies that come, they come and appear before the Committee of the Whole.
The heated exchanges were far from over. A reference to former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta by the Majority Leader Mahama Yariga further raised tensions.
You don't throw stones when you live in a glass house. You mismanage the economy, so today don't come and be telling people about the mismanagement of the economy. Ghanaians saw everything.
We are ready any day.
Leader.
They should bring it on.
Leader.
We would face them. We have every single corruption issue in this government.
Leader, you should have mercy on me.
Finance Minister Dr. Kasia Lateforsen presented the 2026 mid-year budget review, stating that the economy remains on track and that first half targets have been exceeded. For the minority, however, the positive figures on paper have yet to translate into improvement in the lives of ordinary Ghanaians. Their reaction echoed the popular phrase, "Wechi guho."
Honorable members.
In the closing days of the meeting, Speaker Alban Bagbin directed MPs to stop abusing the use of sirens and police escort, following a directive from Cabinet. He had also promised to preside over the recession and second consideration of the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill, but that never happened.
We have come to the position that they should be considered in the next meeting.
The House adjourned Senate DA, bringing plenary business to an end as Parliament entered recess. Before the adjournment, however, Parliament rescinded and repassed several bills, some within 24 hours, with the minority alleging a lack of due diligence in considering strategic and critical legislations. Committees are expected to continue their work during the recess, which some describe as a long vacation for MPs.
The House is accordingly adjourned.
Christian Yale, TV3 News, Parliament.
And away from Parliament, 138 female learners of the Islamic Senior High School in Wa have been displaced after a fire swept through part of the girls' dormitory Sunday evening. Our correspondent Ibrahim Wangara reports that the incident is the third fire outbreak recorded at the same dormitory since 2020.
A fire outbreak on Sunday evening damaged 6 rooms in the Wahada Girls' Dormitory at the Islamic Senior High School in Wa, displacing 138 students. No injuries were recorded. Headmaster of the school, Alhassan Bafara recounts the ordeal.
I was told it started from the third room, and then immediately we called the fire service. 6 rooms are involved. 138 students, girls, lost their property, almost everything. Upon our internal investigations, we haven't seen anything suspicious for now.
The latest incident marks the third fire outbreak at the same girls' dormitory in just over 6 years. The one municipal fire officer, DO3 Idrisu Imran, says firefighters responded swiftly after receiving the distress call.
We received the running call at 19:38 hours. My officers got here at 19:45 hours. Before they got here, the nature of the combustible materials that are here, the whole structure was engulfed with fire. The possible thing and professionally we can do is to prevent it from further extending to the other adjoining rooms, and that was exactly what my men did.
The one municipal chief executive, Alhaji Issa Noura Danwana, visited the school alongside officials from NADMO to assess the extent of the damage and assured management and the affected students of the assembly's support. School authorities are appealing for support to rehabilitate the damaged dormitory and provide relief items for the 138 affected girls. Ibrahim Wangara, TV3 News, Wa.
In more news tonight, the University of Gold Coast has launched a Doctor of Philosophy and Business Administration aimed at developing a new generation of African scholar leaders. The 3-year program targets professionals, executives, and academics seeking to translate industry experience into research and leadership while addressing organizational and national development challenges.
The University of Gold Coast says its newly launched PhD in Business Administration is designed to strengthen Africa's research capacity by equipping experienced professionals with advanced academic and leadership skills. The 3-year 96-credit program combines research training, publication development, original thesis work, and international academic management. The 3-year 96-credit program combines research training, publication development, original thesis work, and international academic engagement, while offering specializations in accounting and finance, human resource management, marketing and communications, leadership and governance, and strategic management. Bishop Dr. Gideon Tutuyofe is the chancellor and founder of the university.
What our PhD would do is to convert the knowledge of very experienced people from the boardroom into the classroom and convert it into knowledge. We want to build people with a capacity to compete anywhere in the world in terms of their scholarly capabilities.
Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Cedric Bell, explained that the new PhD program is intellectually ambitious, globally engaged, ethically grounded, and professionally relevant.
It's not for everybody. It's, as I've said, for people who aspire to move on with their academic careers. And I think we want to keep up the Africanization of the course, because that's important, that the topics that students choose in their dissertation are relevant to Ghana, relevant to Africa, and will make a contribution to solving some of the challenges that may exist.
Management says applications are open for October 2026 intake. For program information and application details, interested applicants can visit phd.ugc.edu.gh or call 0244 690 454.
It's now time for the weather report, and partly to mostly cloudy conditions are expected to prevail this evening into the night over most places within the country. However, thunderstorms or rain are expected over a few places within the northern sector. Early Tuesday morning, mist of fog patches form over parts of the forest and mountainous areas during the early hours of tomorrow, reducing visibility. Coming up with their forecast figures.
Weather News segment is brought to you by Syntex Tank.
others are raising concerns over whether the subsidy will be enough to cushion consumers against fresh pump hikes. Within the first few days in August, some oil marketing companies increased their prices twice following sharp increases in global crude oil prices and the depreciation of the cedi. Diesel, for instance, shot up to over 19 Ghana cedis per litre at some stations across the country. Responding to this, government announced a subsidy on diesel of 2 Ghana cedis effective August 4 for the next 1 month.
President Mahama continues to care for the people of this country. Even whilst he's away in Jamaica, he's given a firm directive that this directive should happen immediately as tomorrow.
Mixed reactions have since greeted the move by the government.
The two cedis is too small. It's too small for us because drivers are suffering.
How much I go fee, do sales, pay fuel, pay my boss, pay myself. So at the end of the day, be something small pay they get.
CEO of NPA, Edudi Tamaklo, is however confident of future drops in prices at the pumps soon.
I want to give the firm assurance to the people of this country that you're going to see further reduction at the pump, and this reduction will make it easier for economic activities within the country.
To some more stories, Sono Assurances Ghana Limited has honored 55 of its top retail sales executives at the climax of its week-long 2026 National Retail Sales and Awards Conference in Techiman, the capital of the Bono East region. The annual event, which has run for 16 years, aims to energize the company's nationwide sales team, promote staff retention, and drive competitive service delivery.
Managing Director Engineer Osman Abudu stressed that recognizing employee dedication is essential to sustaining the company's growth. He pledged enhanced performance incentives for sales in the coming years.
When we tell the customer that a problem in Burkina Faso is the same as a problem in Ghana because it's just a phone call away, that is an advantage we can leverage on. You, our agents, are so special and so hardworking that you are the envy of the industry.
This year's conference featured a refreshed award structure to make room for emerging talent. Persistent top winners were elevated to a newly created Hall of Fame category. Mercy Otabel earned top recognition in the Hall of Fame category, while Salifu Adams, representing the Sunyai branch, was crowned Best Overall Executive.
It will help me a lot to, even go further and do more than this. Yeah. I would like to join those at the Hall of Fame, inshallah.
The company highlighted its digital channels, allowing customers to purchase policies remotely via Telegram and WhatsApp chatbots.
This Telegram chatbot is a kind of a chatbot that gives you a 360-degree of insurance buying experience. So we know that these days, social media has come to stay. So that is why we came out with this idea.
Addressing national economic contributions, Ernestina Anani Ejay encouraged young job seekers to consider careers in insurance sales, emphasizing that expanding the agency network helps reduce youth unemployment while supporting national economic growth. Suno Assurance aims to set a new benchmark for customer experience in Ghana's insurance sector by making everyday transactions simpler, faster, and accessible.
Government maintained its strong run on the domestic money market, securing a 6th straight oversubscription in Treasury bill auction held on July 31, 2026. For tender 2018, the state targeted 5.866 billion cedis across the standard 91, 182, and 364-day bills. But investor appetite was far higher, offering bids totaling 10.505 billion cedis and oversubscription of 79.1%.
That is a subscription rate of 179.1%. an oversubscription rate of 79.1% and an acceptance rate of 82.4%, as government accepted 8.651 billion cedis of the 10.505 billion cedis investors offered. The 91-day bill attracted bids worth 2.273 billion cedis, while government took 972.9 million cedis at a yield of 5.76%. For the 182-day bill, offers totaled 757.9 million cedis, with 501.4 million cedis accepted at an interest rate of 7.64%. Demand was strongest for the longest tenor. The 364-day bill pulled in 7.474 billion cedis in bids, with government accepting 7.177 billion cedis at a yield of 12.98%. However, Three Business notes that the sixth consecutive oversubscription shows sustained investor confidence in government paper, even as yield strength shows borrowing costs remain higher year on year, especially for longer tenors, reflecting tighter liquidity and inflation expectations. It also gives government room to be selective and reject higher cost bids, helping to manage borrowing costs despite pressure on the cedi and rising crude prices.
And that'll be all for the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obodu. We'll bring you updates now from the currency and the commodity market.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360 with me, Oreku Ampofo. The Black Satellites have returned home after a disappointing campaign at the 2026 WAFU Zone B Under-20 Championships currently ongoing in Yamoussoukro, Cote d'Ivoire. Led by head coach Maxwell Konedu, Ghana's Under-20 side exited the tournament at the group stage after failing to record a single victory while finishing third in Group B. They ended up drawing their final game against Togo, and then they lost against Nigeria. Now, despite the early elimination, the setback does not affect Ghana's participation at the continental level, as the nation has already secured automatic qualification for the 2027 Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations as the tournament host. Now away from football to athletics, where Team Ghana has concluded its campaign at the 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, securing just 2 medals and several impressive performances that offer optimism for the future. The following 3 sports report brings you a wrap of Ghana's campaign in Glasgow.
Team Ghana concluded its campaign at the 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow with 2 medals, highlighted by a historic silver medal from para-athlete Zainabou Issa and a bronze medal from boxer Amadou Mohamed. The nation's best performance came in para-athletics, where Zainabou Issa produced an outstanding display in the women's shot put F57 event to claim the silver medal, Ghana's highest finish at the Games. The second medal came in boxing through Amadou Mohamed, who battled his way to the semi-final of the men's 55 kg division to secure a bronze medal after impressive victories in his opening bout. Although Ghana finished with 2 medals, several athletes produced performances that offered hope for the future. In athletics, the men's 4x100 meter relay team narrowly missed out on the podium finish after placing 4th in the final with a time of 38.13 seconds. Swimming also produced encouraging signs, with Abeku Jackson progressing to the semi-final of the men's 50-meter butterfly, while the rest of Ghana's swimmers gained valuable international experience against some of the world's best competitors. Overall, Ghana fielded athletes across athletics, para-athletics, boxing, swimming, para-swimming, weightlifting, para-powerlifting, judo, and track cycling, with several competitors reaching finals and recording personal milestones despite narrowly missing the podium. While the medal tally stood at 2, the performances of Zainabou Issa and Amadou Mohamed, together with several near medal finishes, provided plenty of encouragement as Ghana continues preparation for future international competitions, including the 2028 Olympic Games and the next Commonwealth Games.
Now, before we go, let's just bring you fixtures on what to expect for the Women's Africa Cup of Nations as it enters its final group matches stage. Kenya face Algeria as Senegal would be facing Morocco. Remember that the 2 countries have some rivalry, even just beyond women's football. Morocco already have 1 foot, in fact 2 of their feet in the quarterfinals, and it's a matter of where they will finish in Group A. Well, that's how we wrap up the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Oreku Ampofo.
Edition of TV3's flagship reality show, Ghana's Most Beautiful, has officially been launched. The milestone season marks 2 decades of celebrating Ghana's rich cultural heritage, empowering young women, and promoting national unity through culture, tradition, and intellect. The grand unveiling marks the beginning of another exciting season.
For 20 remarkable years, Ghana's Most Beautiful has served as a beacon of entertainment and education, celebrating and promoting Ghana's rich cultural heritage and traditional values. Over the past 2 decades, the prestigious reality show has empowered and inspired countless young women, nurturing them into ambassadors and role models for future generations. The journey continues with the launch of the 20th season of this inspiring reality show.
And so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The legacy edition of Ghana's Most Beautiful, duly unveiled.
The grand launch and royal ball did not only mark 2 decades of Ghana's Most Beautiful, but also celebrated the individuals, institutions, and corporate partners whose unwavering support has contributed to the show's success over the years.
We appreciate you greatly. Thank you so much for being a part of our 20-year journey.
A special fundraising event was also held in support of the GMB 20th Anniversary Legacy Project. According to the General Manager, Akofa Banson, this year's Legacy Initiative will focus on funding master's degree scholarships for deserving young women across all 16 regions of Ghana.
GMB has become a culture, it has become a force. Everybody wants to see who is representing their region and what they would do for Ghana this year. For the legacy year, what GMB has been thinking about is the young girls who are unable to move forward because of the lack of opportunity, you know. Some of them are very able, but because of their inability to fund higher education, they are unable to go forward. And so this year, what we're doing is that we're funding master's degree scholarships for young girls from all the regions of Ghana. We'll start with 2 this year, and then progressively we'll begin to increase it as the years go by.
Congratulating the contestants, the reigning Ghana's Most Beautiful Queen, Atonam, encouraged them to remain confident, embrace the journey, and work hard to achieve their dreams.
I am expecting nothing short of excellence from these ladies. They should give us a show. They should teach us something we've never seen or heard before on Ghana's Most Beautiful. And they should also empower us, each other, and give us great projects that will impact their society as well. I'm looking forward to the best. I know the competition is going to be tough, looking at the juicy prizes, of course, but I wish the girls all the best. And
Ghana's Most Beautiful 2026 promises to captivate audiences with a vibrant blend of culture, entertainment, and intellectual engagement. The delegates are poised to proudly represent their respective regions with passion, confidence, and determination as they compete for the coveted crown.
Well, congratulations to all the ladies there. Let's bring you some international news now as Myanmar's detained former leader Aung San Suu met with a representative of the International Committee of the Red Cross on Monday after years of questions over the health and well-being of the 81-year-old Nobel Peace Prize winner. Now, she met with Aung de Basque, resident representative of the International Committee of the Red Cross to Myanmar in the capital on Monday, and government spokesperson said in a message via Telegram. Now, details are like this. Now, Suu Kyi's Kim Ari says the ICRC was not able to have any physician examine his mother, but she said she seemed to be in good health and in good spirits.
And that's it for News360. For more news updates, do look onto our website, 3news.com. I am Portia Gabo.
I'm Noble Crosby, and join Alfred Okanse and the Ghana Tonight team at 10 p.m. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.